Hi, I'm Anne from Game Like a Mother. Today I'm going to show you how to play Castle Panic. It's ages 8 and up, 1 to 6 players, and it takes 30 to 45 minutes. Let me show you how to play. The goal of the game is to have at least one piece of your castle left at the end after battling all of these monsters. This is the wall of your castle. It doesn't matter if that's all gone. It doesn't matter if some of the walls of your castle are gone, just one has to be left, and then you win the game. For game setup, you first need to take out 3 goblins, 2 orcs, and 1 troll. And to begin the game, you place them in the archer ring. From now on, you're going to place new monsters in the forest ring, but you can't attack them in the forest. So for the first round of games, if you have anything to attack, they start out in the archer ring. You get to pick where you want to place them. You can talk to your teammates about the best way you think you want to do that. Then we have a 2-player game here. And this is just meant to be a quick run through of the game with standard rules. They have so many different variations within the game that you can consult the rules if you want to do different things, but this is just the basics. So for a 2-player game, each player is dealt 6 cards face up. If you're playing with 3 to 5 players, it's 5 cards each is your hand size, and with 6 players, it's just 4 cards each. You're going to have all the monsters beside the game. You have a couple of reinforcements for walls and some tar that you need specialty cards to be able to use, but have them handy. Have the die handy. And the order of play is so helpful. Make sure each player has one of those beside them. Pick a player to go first. We usually pick the youngest player. And to begin, you just go through your order of play. You draw up to your hand limit size, which in the first round, you already have 6 cards in your hand, so you don't need to draw any cards. Then you get to discard and draw 1 card, which I highly recommend doing. Even if you think, oh, I could use this blue swordsman in a couple turns, your success at this game for us, it seems like you do a lot better if you're just getting through the deck as quickly as possible. So they're going to discard this one and draw a new one. They got a green knight instead. Then you're going to trade cards with the other players. So you can see what's coming. Each round, these monsters are going to be moving 1 closer to the castle. So any that they don't slay this turn, this player, they're the only ones slaying any monsters this turn. It's just their hand. So they're going to slay anything that's an archer. The next round, there are going to be a bunch of knight cards needed because you have to have the color and the type to slay in each spot. So right now, they need green archers, red archers, blue archers. So the next time they're going to need knights. So this person has a red knight card. So maybe they'll say, okay, I'll give you a red knight card. Do you have anything you want to give me? And maybe they're really nice and they give them their barbarian. The cards, I'll go through the cards that are in the deck here in a minute, but mostly the basics are your archers, knights, and swordsmen, and then there's some specialty cards in addition to that. So now that they've traded cards, you get to play cards, which is the really fun part where you're getting to kill some monsters. Now, this person, they don't have any archer cards. So their only way to kill any of the monsters is they're going to play the specialty card, which is a barbarian, and you get to slay 1 monster anywhere, including inside the castle ring. I'll show you what happens when they get inside the castle ring. It's a lot harder to kill them in there. So this is really handy if that happens, but we're just going to have him pick the biggest monster. He's going to pick this troll, put him off to the side in the slayed monster area. He has another card called Nice Shot, where you get to play this card with a hit card and it'll slay any monster. Well, he doesn't have a hit card to take care of any of these other ones, so that doesn't do him any good. And also he has mortar. If you have brick and mortar, you can rebuild a wall, but right now all of the walls are standing, so they don't need to do that, but it's still really nice to have those cards because you really want to have your good defenses. So he's not using that yet. Those are all of his cards for right now that matter. His turn is over. He only played one card. That's okay. Now, the last part of his turn is he's going to draw 2 monster cards or 2 monster tiles at random from the assortment over here. And most of them, there's a lot of orcs, goblins, and trolls. So you're supposed to take 2, and then you flip them over one at a time. So we'll flip over this one. And there's lots of orcs, monsters, and trolls, but there's also specialty ones. This allows you have to move all of the monsters counterclockwise. And they even show the arrow on this to make it easy. So you move them all one spot counterclockwise. They're being loud. To begin, you pick the youngest. Usually we pick the youngest player to go first. So we'll say that it's this player. And then you just go through this order of play. To begin, you draw up to whatever your hand limit is. With 2 players, it's 6 cards. And they're already there, so you don't have to worry about doing that. Now you discard and draw 1 card, which really, we like to do a lot of that because the quicker you go through the deck, it seems to be very helpful for your chances of winning. So they're going to discard a brick. You need a brick and a mortar to rebuild the wall, and happily they don't have any walls down yet. So they don't have to worry about that, although they have a brick and mortar for in the future if a wall gets taken out. And so then they draw another card. They got a red knight. Next, you can trade hands. And on each round, the monsters are all going to move one closer to the castle at the end of each round. This person is the only one battling monsters this first round. They all move in, you get new monsters out, and then it's going to be this person's turn to battle monsters, and they're going to be a lot of them in the knight spot the next time. So perhaps he thinks, aha, it would be nice to give him a knight card. So I'm going to give him a knight card. And he says, that's great. I don't have any archers to give you right now, but I do have a nice shot card, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. Now you get to the fun part. You get to play your cards, battle some monsters. They can play a blue. Here, we'll start with a green archer. When you play one of these cards, you place it in the discard, and then if he wants to battle the orc, the 2 is pointed toward the castle here. When you do any damage, you turn the monster, so now the 1 is facing towards the castle, and that's how many hit points this monster has left. So in the future, when he moves forward, he just has 1 spot to get out, to take out. So now he's going to take out, with the blue archer, he's just going to take out this goblin because he only had 1 hit point, so that takes care of him. He has a barbarian that is a specialty card, and he gets to slay 1 monster anywhere, including the castle, but not the forest. And that's really helpful for later on in the game when you get monsters in your castle. It can be really hard to take care of them, so the barbarian can be a lifesaver. But right now, we're happy to use him to take out the troll. He can't use the brick and mortar yet to rebuild a wall, and he has this really great nice shot card, but he has to use it with another card, and it takes out any monster. So it's okay. He played a few cards. He feels happy about his turn. Now, the next step is any remaining monsters, you move 1 spot closer to the castle, and then he picks 2 monsters from all the face down shuffled up tiles, and you flip 1 over, and then you roll the dice. If it's a standard orc, goblin, troll, you got an orc, it's going to go to green 3. They're numbered here in the forest, and it goes in the forest to begin. So the next player can't even attack that yet, but it's helpful you know it's coming. Then the other one that he got, is the troll mage. On the outside of the board, it's so lovely to help you from having to consult into the rules frequently. I've played this game a fair amount, And I don't remember off the top of my head what the troll mage does, but it's here on the side of the board. And all you do is you roll the die and you place the troll mage in the forest, then move all the monsters on the board, including the troll mage, one ring closer to the castle, or one space clockwise if they're in the castle ring. So troll mage is I mean, especially we're getting really close to the castle here. So we're gonna roll the die, place it. He goes to number 2, and then all of them move one closer. We are early in the game and already we are panicking. So now we have the basics of the game down, and I want to show what happens when the monsters start getting into your walls. So this player, they have their turn. We say that they do the basics. They draw up to 6. They already have 6. They can discard and draw a card. They have a ton of green knights. So they're going to discard and draw one. Really, I encourage you to discard a lot if possible, because you just want to get better cards and get through the deck as much as possible, because you want to get through so where you get to shuffle up the cards and get the barbarian again, and other good cards that you've got in here. So now they can trade with the other person. Maybe they want that nice shot, and they're going to give them mortar because they're hoping they're going to be able to rebuild a bunch of walls next time if they draw good stuff. And so now they get to attack things. They have blue swordsman, which does them no good because there's nobody in the blue. They have a green swordsman, so that's nice. We can have them take out this guy. And we'll say that's all they do for this turn. And what happens now is it's time for the monsters to move in one, and there's a wall. So this one only has 1 hit point left. When he attacks the wall, that removes his final hit point. So the wall is gone, and you can rebuild it now later, but the monster's also taken out. If the monster had 2 hit points still, and it had run into this, he would have 1 hit point left. This would be gone, and then the next move monster phase, he'd be able to move in to the castle area and take out a wall. But by taking out that wall, his last point would be removed, and this would be gone. You can rebuild the walls. You cannot rebuild the castle. Whenever a castle part of the castle is taken out, that is gone forever. So you really want to do what you can to avoid that happening. So if he was at 1, he'd take this out. This is gone. He's gone. If you have, we're going to just say that these two are right by each other, and oh goodness, it looks bad. You have both a troll mage and an orc attacking the wall. If they're in the same section and attacking, only one is attacking the wall. So we'll say that it's the orc, and it gets it down to 1, and they both stay in this spot, and the wall is removed when that happens. You say it's a simultaneous attack. They both get there. So for this round, we're saying this guy took out this wall. I mean, this is some havoc. And so these guys move forward. This guy, one of the other tricky things about the game is just try to go about moving forward your monsters in an orderly fashion, or it's really easy to get excited about certain ones attacking a wall and forget to move forward someone from the forest. So just quality control, make sure you're taking care of your business. And then for the end of the turn, you draw 2 monsters. I set up the monsters a little bit, and so I have all the other specialty ones off to the side. You can have where monsters in red move forward 1, which would be very bad at this point if that happens. You can have the monsters move clockwise, and so they even have a nice little arrow to show you, so everybody would scooch over 1 spot section clockwise. You can have where you draw 4 new monster tokens, and then you just resolve those one at a time as well, in addition to what you've already done. Brutal. Giant boulder. If you get the giant boulder, you roll, and sometimes it can be really great to get a boulder, because if you just have monster, 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 all along here, then it's totally worth it sometimes to have the boulder come through And where's my boulder? The boulder comes through and it takes out all of the monsters in its path, and then it stops at the first wall that it reaches, which can be nice if it's the outside wall, but sometimes it's an interior wall. And I mean, hopefully it's just taken out some monsters along the way. So that's all the giant boulder does. So sometimes you're hoping for them, sometimes they hurt you. It's a nice kind of chaos factor in the middle of everything, because you just never know what you're getting with that. So we'll just pick 2 at random like normal and resolve them. So we have Plague. Oh, that's the other one. Plague on Swordsman. So any Swordsman cards you would have in your hand, you'd have to discard. So this blue Swordsman would be gone for this player. Bummer. But there's no monsters out on here, so sometimes you don't have a lot of those cards, and it's not so bad to have a Plague visit, and sometimes it's really annoying. Oh, and here's another one. We've got monsters move counterclockwise, so sure, we'll go ahead and do that. Move them over here. Those are all the monsters left on the board. So no new monsters have joined, but these ones are looking really deadly, and he's hoping he draws a lot of red cards this turn. So now it's the next person's turn. This person draws 3 cards, does their actions, they're discarding their blue knight because all they care about is red. Oh, they've gotten pretty lucky. They have a red swordsman. That helps at least a little bit. And they can trade with the other player. Sure, they're going to take the red knight and give them the blue hero. Oh, they're not going to take the red knight. They want to have a nice shot because they're freaking out, and this is a way to get rid of one of these. So at this point, this is pretty deadly what's going to happen here. So we're just going to say they don't take anybody out because I want to show you what happens when there's absolute mayhem. It gets a little tight in here if you have multiple monsters going in, so you stack them on top of each other. So we're saying he already played, everything's done, he's moving in, and at this point, it's only one everyone moves forward, but only one monster attacks. We're going to take out the person with 1 hit point left. So we're going to take out the orc, but this is also gone, and it's gone forever. And from this point, oh, okay, fine. We'll say that he got to rebuild the wall because I want to show it doesn't matter when you're inside the castle. If there's a wall on the outside, it doesn't stop this guy. He just gets to keep on going around. So the next turn, if nobody's able to take him out, you don't have a happy boulder come through, or you don't have a barbarian, at the end of the next round, well, he comes over, he moves clockwise around. So it still takes out a hit point. He'd be down to 2 hit points, but this one would be gone. And actually, this guy would have attacked this wall and been down to 1. And then the next turn, he doesn't care that there's a wall here. He comes around and now he's down to 1. This is gone forever. And more monsters are coming in, but I'm just showing what these guys do. And this guy would have moved in. It's okay, he doesn't have anything he's just he's going around and waiting for a wall to attack. So then this guy on the next turn, he'd finally be taken out when he gets this wall. But none of these are coming back. And this guy would have moved here. And then if you can't take this guy out, he just keeps on going until he takes out this one. But never fear, you can still win. You just need to very much protect this final wall if that were to occur. This is what the end of a game might look like. This player has completed their turn. All the different monster tiles have been played. There are just these few left to defeat. As long as you defeat them and this one castle wall is left standing, you'll have won. So this player draws back up to 6 cards. If the deck is exhausted and you just shuffle it and get to continue to use it for the rest of the game. So they've done that. Now they're going to play a specialty card, which is draw 2 cards. And it doesn't matter if you go over your hand limit. That's totally allowed. They have a lot of specialty cards here. How very lucky, and I definitely didn't stack that. So now they can choose to, they have Fortify Wall. You need a special token for that. You just hang it on like that. That's nice. tar. You can place tar. It doesn't matter at this point of the game, but if you did that, then a monster wouldn't move forward the next round of play, but I made it so they'd be done this round. We have a red knight card that takes out this goblin. They have an any color swordsman combined with a nice shot, and so that works to take out anyone regardless of how many hit points, so that will take out the troll that we just put the tar on. And then finally, they have the barbarian, which slays one monster anywhere, and they're gonna slay this one, so hooray, they have defeated the game. So that's how to play Castle Panic. The target demographic for this game is a family game or an adult game for people who want something that is fun and challenging, but cooperative. The rule complexity is medium. There's a bit to wrap your head around the first time you play, and it's easy to have a rule or two wrong the first few times you play and then have to go back and sort it out. But once you have it down, the basics aren't all that tricky, and it's just, if there's someone who knows the rules, they can guide everyone really easily, and younger kids can play this with some assistance of older kids or adults, and it works well for kids and adults. How competitive is this game? It is cooperative, but it is challenging, and you can manage your challenge level. There's a lot of variations in the rules and different expansions depending on what you're going for. The replay value is high because of this. It is so fun to play. Kids get so excited. Adults have a great time just playing this on their own, with or without kids. And so it's one of those ones you want to keep on coming back to, and they have loads of expansions, so really you shouldn't ever get tired of playing this game because they always have something else that you can try as you play, so it's not ever just the same thing. Similar games, if you like this game, I would absolutely recommend Ghost Fight and Treasure Hunters. It can be a little tricky to find right now, but it's basically it feels kind of like cooperative Clue, but you're trying to get your treasure hunters into the haunted house and get the treasure and to get out before the ghosts get them. And then also I would recommend Mysterium Park is a cooperative like whodunit game where you work together to try to figure out the murder mystery, and you use different images to give clues, and it is very highly rated and very fun as well. But you cannot go wrong with Castle Panic. We love this one. You should definitely check it out. Thanks, and see you next time from Game Like a Mother.